Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, off here to a glorious 1v1 on Faymonville Approach. North it is East, fighting here for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here rolling out with the 2nd SS Panzerdivision Das Reich, with the troops featuring stun grenades, stormtroopers, Jägerline infantry upgrades, Panzer Tactician, and Tigrace. In the south it is Stormjaeger, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin, and the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps. Actually, skip that, not 2nd, but 5th SS Panzerdivision Viking. Guard mode here though, mechanized support and defensive tactics with double infantry and a tank gun there. We got Dummies conscripts versus double grenadiers here from Eats. And as always, a big hearty thanks by the way to my Patreon supporters. Without them, the support the Propagandacast would not be possible. So big thanks to all those other people who join the ranks by Patreon, or they can consider donating my PayPal. Links in the description. And finally, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing also helps a bit there. But anyways, Engineers versus Grenadiers here. 2nd Grenadiers Corps there on the way for Eats, almost done. Might be seeing some infantry play here with the G for the feast and the grenades. We shall see. Stormjaeger, of course, has yet to reveal his, though. I would say chances are, woman, he's going to be going for guard mode, as it is by far the best Soviet commander. Sandbags up here. There's court here. North field point secured there by Stormjaeger. Pushes up here against the southern field point there where Eats is a bit extending. We'll need to move in troops from the north here to assist here versus Stormjaeger's socialist advance here. They risk losing access to the field point early on here. He's being flanked up, but there we go, coming to the flank here. 3rd Grenadier Squad heading northwards. You may have to divert that centre as well. There we go. To respond here to Stormjaeger's socialist aggressions here. Pioneers bringing it, taking advantage of the final move towards the north to flank over the Pioneers. Thumbs up there to Eats. I think that's very aggressive. No, he switched outfits now. Quick change in path there. Grenadiers are overwhelmed here by Stormjaeger's conscripts. Grenadiers bring in there. Quick kill there on some of Stormjaeger's infantry. 3rd Grenadier conscript there for Stormjaeger. 4th Grenadier Squad here for Eats. It's definitely a build that's becoming more popular with some. Now players will just go for 4 Grenadiers. Maybe later on they'll go for an MG42, but some tend to be fairly late about it. But the case the 4 Grenadier build is definitely catching on here. Just more aggressive, more pressure. And you're seeing some reinforcements. Guess we'll be seeing some tech next here for Eats. His southern field point though is now wide open here, and Stormjaeger dives in for the Red Army. Pioneers sneak back in the south here, bit of barbed wire there to like cover easily to the Soviets. Looks like they're diverting his forces northwards now, basically thinking they're going to dive southwards. He's going to head northwards instead, take the path of least resistance for his grenadiers, which honestly makes sense. Almost got the southern field point there. No tech yet for him. Had to reinforce a lot of grenadiers, obviously. For Stormjaeger, medics are on the way there. Done. Now, Eats here could take up. He could also go for an MG42, I suppose. A 5th Grenadier Squad. That's a bit of a surprise there. Grenadiers flanking the country around the centre. Quick bit of skirmishing. Grab northern field point of the Grenadier. Tech on the way there. He's caught up north here between several Grenadier Squads here. Even as he's just basically running a delay operation in the south, he's slowing down Stormjaeger's capture of the points just a tiny bit, but honestly not by a lot when you think about it. Not by a significant amount. He can use the conscripts there. He's got the concussive grenades, but not the rifle grenades. But that will soon change. Ground the points here. So basically the place is shifting sides of the map. Occasionally happens. In particular on a map like Faymonville Approach. Quickly moving in to secure the points here. Rapid advances, tech there for Stormjaeger. The spot coming up, they're both new squads going up to get up faster. Thumbs up there. Concentrating up, they're getting down to, well, 2 men and they're incredibly unhealthy. Like to make a nice company for Eats. Probably an armoured car. Could also be a half-track though. Flame for half-track right now could be, I think, fairly effective as a Stormjaeger who doesn't exactly have a lot of anti-tank weapons and mostly fairly flammable infantry. Rushing after the Grenadiers, he also wants to secure the car front against any fascist incursions. Like to make a nice company up. Bunker up there for Eats. He's bring up there. Flamethrowers at the ready here to burn their way to Berlin. Northern point being seized by the Grenadiers. Bunker up. Panzer Tactician ready. Field gun the way there for Stormjaeger. Obviously concerned about an armored car. Or theoretically a flamethrower, but you know, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be the armored car. Most players don't bother with a half track. And it's not, you know, like the armored car isn't good, but sometimes I think there's a situation where I want the half track to like burn through a lot of the opponent's infantry fast. Well, that's on the field being attacked out by Eats, sneaking into some troops, even as keeping up the defense here against Stormjaeger's northern advance here. Armored car is almost done for Eats. Gonna need to think we'll have to retreat. They're taking too much damage from the flamethrowers, of course, all the other infantry. There we go, quick retreat. Troops setting up from the base, 2 to the move. Pioneers from the layer of sandbags here. Armored cars rushing in. Field gun move there for Stormjaeger. No grenades here for Stormjaeger. You need to push in with the armored cars, push around the controls here, do some damage. And then soon they're going to catch the control here. Stormjaeger's been forced to fall back here in the face of Eats' fierce assault here. Field gun pulling back there for Stormjaeger. Machine gun on the way there for him as well. A Maxim. Counter right here by the 2-2. And straight into the field gun there. Good shot for the rear there of the armored car. And about to, I think, lose it here possibly. No, gets a bit lucky there, feeling caught with the Grenadiers here. No upgrades, I think, on them, so can't quite, I think, wipe them out quickly. If he could grab the field calls, that would be amazing here for Eats, but no. At least he gets lucky with that armored car, though. And, of course, Stormjaeger gets unlucky with that armored car, as he doesn't get it finished off here. Quick counter thrust there that pushes back the Eats away from the doorstep to Stormjaeger's base. And we do get G for the Fleet Grenadiers here, thumbs up, and an MD-42.5 for Eats here in the German army. But certainly a full grenadier built with G4Ds can be quite potent. Can certainly allow to play a lot more aggressively, and so far the Wehrmacht players' overall strategy definitely seems on the more aggressive end of the spectrum. Consequence push back there, Maxim 2/3 of the way done. Of course, we'll see how much more Eats upgrades his grenadiers, or how fast he does so. MD-42 almost done. As for Stormjaeger, no tech yet, and crucially, no commander yet. I mean, it could be he's actually not planning Gut Motor, though I would still say chances are overwhelmingly high that he's going to go Gut Motor eventually. It could also be mechanized support, I suppose, but Gut Motor is just, I know, the #1 commander in the game. Machine gun moving up here up north. We got the gunners moving there, flanking here. The Maxim by the road here, caught an active cover. That will have to fall back fast here, get into a good position before Eats Grenadiers head through it. We got 2 Grenadiers upgrading now with the G4Ds, leaving only 2 to go. So here the field gun machine doing a pretty aggressive play here by Eats, but at the same time, as the Wehrmacht, you do have to play aggressively, as long as you don't play recklessly, in my opinion. So definitely throwing, I think, Stormjaeger off here with that aggressive machine gun play there, plus the Grenadiers on the flank here with the G4Ds and Carnot TKs. Machine in trouble, got the film about the machine gun position there. Counter's routed. Almost got the counter there as well. There's definitely some close quarters engagements here between Stormjaeger and Eats. Both players fiercely attacking there, go right into Fleermann, losing Friedrich. Map continues to like switch back and forth here quite spectacularly fast. And there he goes, Stormjaeger with the tank reposition command here. Could go for the T-70, could go for the anti-aircraft. He could also just move straight ahead for the mechanized armor company and try and push out a T-34. That, of course, would be the other option. But there you go, we do get the T-70 light tank here for Stormjaeger and the Red Army. As for the G33, it was meant to, like, you know, replace the Kar-19K as the main rifle of the German army. It was, you know, they kind of wanted to, like, be sort of a marksman rifle for everyone, but ultimately that kind of got put aside once, you know, the Sturmgewehr sort of got into place. At which point, you know, that rather got discarded a bit. But mostly those handed out to like squad leaders and some specialist units, but also receive a higher quantity of G33s. So, little fun fact there. These can't push up the Grenadiers here. And Maxim taking from them as well. Quick route there. Machine setting up here around the centre again. No further sound attack yet there for Eats and the German army. Armoured cars trying for more strengthening using the conscripts. T-70 sending out there. Users in the MD-42 suppressed. Going straight here with the MD-42. Pack 4 lands a good hit on the T-70. Pushing back the T-70 light tank. Of course, the 222 armored car calls have numerous variants. The 221 with a machine gun, the 223 which is a command variant, but there's also, like the shall say, slightly more off-the-books workshop version, where they actually use a, well, either heavy anti-tank or light anti-tank, and depending on who you ask in the German army, but basically a 2.8cm gun. That's apparently fairly good. But they sort of mount that in the armored car as well. Fun fact. That one was also, I believe, used on anti-tank half-tracks. Especially known as the 250-11 light version. Punching the MD-42 here. Gonna get murdered up close. Contra the Grenadiers here. Pretty much almost all of the squads are upgraded with G-43s. Only one to go. Here for Eats and the German army. The centre there, so to keep up the attack here. Pressuring Eats. Southern flank, there's actually also wide open here. There's seemingly Stormjaeger's less than interested in that. We got the Grenadiers flanking here. Good flank. Thumbs up. Hands pass off in the T-70 light tank. The Pack 40 can't quite exploit that. Eats taking up here for the German army. So good. Stormjaeger. Still no commander and no tech.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Could still end up being guard motor or mechanized support at this point. But could suppose also be defensive. But at this point, there's not really much reason to go for it except maybe a heavy mortar like the anti-tank Overwatch. So we'll have to see what Stormjaeger's plan is. Tech down there for Eats and the German army. Mortar almost done here. Definitely a good addition, in particular the way the combat is going. Having a mortar to help deal with Stormjaeger and its maximum, for example, is a very good idea here. So thumbs up to the German player. Grenadier catching the country with the T-33s. Up north, their point being seized by the Grenadiers. T-70 racing in here, flanking the Grenadiers. In the south, so infantry moving forwards here. Swift advances there. And everywhere there. Got T-70 strikes at the Pioneers, tanks with the sword family gun there. Northern point being seized by the East and the conscripts. No mercy there from Stormjaeger. In the centre there, the German assault is quickly repulsed here. Not quite coordinated well with the mortar. And he's barraging with high explosives rather than just say smoke. I mean, high explosives of course work well, but the smoke would be, I think, more immediate. And I'm to just push through faster. In the south here, contrasts the armoured car, and there you go, fielding to the rescue here for Stormjaeger southern positions. Enforcing healing, upgrading the farm Grenadier squad here with the Jaeger light infantry upgrades. Thumbs up. No Stormtroopers sadly out here, the Wehrmacht players so far. Kind of Stormtruppen. Would be nice to see some of those. Personally, at least, I think. Maximus the advantage Grenadiers, Pack 40 moving in. Mortar barraging again. It's not really hitting anything. Most missing off might again. I think just smoke would have been much faster here and just, you know, rapid. Obviously wouldn't have done any damage, but again would have allowed him to, I think, just get through with the rest of his forces much faster. So I feel like each would benefit a bit from some smoke. And there you go, Constantine there blown to bits. In the south here, so infantry advancing on the southern victory point here. Stormjaeger still getting more of a map, and Crucial's getting the victory point advantage over his German opponent. Armored car sitting out. Consuls push back. Almost wiping that out there. Almost. There you go. Full wipe here in Stormjaeger. Down just 2 conscripts. The maximum pack closing wiped out by the mortar as well. The veterans one gained. 4 kills. Things are picking up for that mortar. Still, Stormjaeger controls most of the map, and Crucial controls both fuel points. So this is definitely a bit dangerous here for Eats, who is getting the Spalmer Cup, at least there. Thumbs up to that. Stormjaeger has yet to take up further and continues to operate without a commander. Eats and the 5th SS Panzer Division launching an assault in the centre here. Back goes the T-70 here. He's routed. Down the centre of the Grenadiers. North the Grenadiers to the conscripts. Back at base. Nothing further happening there yet. We got the Spalmer Cup. He can soon go for the Panther 4. And here we got Stormjaeger with the mechanized armor company. He's also on just 1 conscript squad. He needs to replace his losses, honestly. Like at this point, I feel like Gus Guard Motor is inevitable here for Stormjaeger. I'm just surprised it's taking him so long to pick it, but that's about it. But like, he needs more infantry on top of like tanks. Because just one conscript versus 4 grenadiers, I think, is not good there for Stormjaeger. I think that is just not sustainable. So while of course he might plan to rush out a tank here first, which is fine, but he needs to make up for these infantry losses sooner rather than later. There you go, Panther 4 here for each. The German army, armor coverage, and they're gaining the easily by the approach. Actually, no veterans too.
Our base is under attack.
Pack 4 to come at the center, got the mortar still firing away. 4 kills, half H veteran 2. Stem armor here for Stormjaeger, guessing he's planning on T-35. Yep, got motor, again, no surprise. And there you go, going for a heavy mortar first. I mean, the heavy mortar course is excellent, but I was actually expecting the guards rather than to first. But, you know, heavy mortar is a good choice. Can, of course, also be used to counter his opponent's mortar. But yeah, in the end, his guard motor is by far the easiest commander, as it's just, it doesn't really require much sense like integrating into whatever strategy you're going. It's just a bunch of good units and abilities. It doesn't require specific play style or anything. You just fit it in. Plus, again, these just good units overall. So, just an easy pick in then for Stormjaeger. Again, the only major element to note, he just took so long to pick it, but it was like pretty much obvious he was going to go for it. Pack firing right in the T-70 misses though, hits a bit of the road, but crucially not what's on the road. Here more to the firing away, quick barrage here. Got a counter barrage here from Eats, pretty quick response there. 32, 5 kills on it. So far though, the counter barraging is not really doing much here to the third mortar. There's some, oh there we go, got a kill on the field gun next to it, crucially not on the mortar itself. Basically, so far, both mortars just keep on missing each other. That is kind of impressive. I mean, it's doing some damage now, but crucially still yet to kill anything. Troops out from base of each. Northern point been claimed once more here by the German army. South side, bit of pressure here, but nothing overall major happening. And both players are basically just heavily focused on the center here. And there you go, Stormjaeger here with another T-35. Oh, a T-35, not another one. That's it. Stormjaeger still fairly short in infantry. There you go. But not before then proceeds to lose the heavy mortar here. So yeah. Counter barrage. Like, a lot of the time I feel like it's just not worth it. I really wish they'd given a more useful ability. A much more useful one, like 5 heavy mortar bombs. Could be one there that could fire bouncing bombs, incendiaries or something like that. I just feel like anything but that counter barrage ability would have been great for the Wehrmacht mortar, but that's just me. All the way, T-35 almost done here, Panther 4 there, getting some light repairs. May of course want to grab that mortar back. And there you go, T-34-85 here for Stormjaeger and the Red Army. Incendiary representing torn into the T-70 light tank here. Veteran 2 gained. Armored car in pursuit of the T-35 there. A vicious pursuit which I fear the armored car will not make it back home from, or it gets lucky and it does. Still, note here that while Stormjaeger has been like heavily focused on the center, Eats has been smartly moving about the rest of the map and securing their other points, so thumbs up to that. Almost got the T-70 here, but no. Pulls back here fast enough for the T-70 to get away there. Close call though for Stormjaeger, very close. Up north, it got engineers, grenade off here. Ooh, grenade land a bit awkwardly there. Still, could have a chance of wiping out the engineers, honestly, with the G-35s, and got ace level of that. Some secured here. Constant amount of loss here for the mortar, which is back in action here for the German army. Still, Stormjaeger needs infantry badly. He's also got like a massive munitions up here, like 300, almost 400 munitions. He's calling another field gun when, honestly, I think he should just be going for more guardsmen. He needs a lot more infantry, like 2 more squads of infantry minimum. In this regard, you're just going for a bunch of guardsmen upgrade. I think would work out fairly well here for Stormjaeger. We'll have to put pressure on Eats again. As for what the German player is planning, harder to say here. Tier 4. Could be he's already planned like stall for the Tiger race then, which is risky. I mean, he's definitely ahead in a lot of ways, but at the same time, trying to go for Tigers right now, I think, would give Stormjaeger more time to catch up with Eats in a lot of other respects and could spell a lot of trouble for him. So it's definitely a high-risk maneuver here for the Wehrmacht player. High risk. Mention about here with the T-35, and he's moving forwards. Panther 4 once more fixed up. He's advancing there under cover of the heavy mortar. Troops dispatched northwest there a bit sneakily. Field guns at the ready here for Stormjaeger and the Red Army. There we go. Double whammy from the field and the Panther 4. They're almost taken out here. Pack 40 shoots and misses meanwhile. Down in that T-35. He once eats Panther 4 kaput. Destroyed. But no, decides not to finish it off here. Oh, he's concerned about too many risks there. I suppose if he dives any further. Armoured car also close to destruction at the hands of Stormjaeger's T-3485, but narrowly escapes well. The T's moving up here. Centre being bombarded up north here. Stormjaeger is extending the influence of the socialist state here. And Eats is going for second pack 40, which under the current circumstances definitely to me feels like a telltale sign. He is going to go here for the Tiger race now. Very ambitious there. Very ambitious. Could work out, but it's certainly also not impossible. If something goes wrong, it's going to leave Eats and the German army in a really precarious position. So we'll have to see how he actually manages it. T-35 taking hits. Still needs more infantry. He can exert control better over the map here versus his opponent. T-Sin gaining veteran free there. Good work. Fletch they're getting snapped. North there. Getting the point there. Panther 4 being fixed up. T-35 in the fixed concrete neck. Field guns backing up there. Great hit from the T-35. Almost wipes out the entire Grenadier squad. Almost wiping out there. Packs on the move here. T-70 sniping the Grenadiers. Almost wiping the entire unit there as well. Several close calls here for each infantry, but they mostly make it out of there alive. Mostly. Meanwhile, the German army, they're moving ever closer towards that Tiger Ace. Bastion moving in behind me. And then beneath me. When he's in the centre there being mauled here. Storming their force. The squad can go for a second T-35 now-ish. This is planning Katyusha maybe. But he still should go for more infantry eventually. Can't go for that second T-35. Eats meanwhile is slowly moving towards that Tiger race. Oh, he's going for more conscript. That cancels it. Perhaps Garsman was planned after all here for Stormjaeger, but again he needs infantry, and honestly he should be laying down a lot of mines as well here. Like, he's got so much munitions, he could make things much more difficult for his opponent if he just was to, like, lay down a lot of mines here. I feel like that's a bit of a slip up there by Stormjaeger as well, doing this current matchup here. Teaching rolling ahead. Stormjaeger seems to be suffering from a bit of decision paralysis here. No tanks, no infantry. Perhaps he can't quite make up his mind as to what path he's meant to take here, and perhaps he's also, like, weighing the options as to what his opponent might be planning. Like, he's seen, you know, the G for the face, Knight also probably realised there's not much else as it probably is expecting possibly a Tiger race in the near future, so he's probably trying to figure out, like, how does he best deal with this situation. But at the same time, the more time he spends doing nothing, I think the more time it also just gives his opponent to go for that Tiger race. So I think Stormjaeger, like, needs to, like, you know, make up his mind soon and start pushing hard against his opponent here. Heavy fire there in the pack 40's pushing them back there, in the centre gun is right as well there. Heavy mobile from the field gun, really laying down some heavy fire there, making good use of the munitions he stored up. Just allowed him to bombard aggressively with them. Still shot an infantry, still not bringing more tanks. He lost his T-7 in the process as well here versus his opponent. Panther for the flank with the T-35 there. Stormjaeger and the Red Army strikes hard here for the glory of the Soviet peoples and the Soviet state. Panther for the pushback by the T-35 up north at points being seized by the Grenadiers. South here we got the pioneers of the MG-42. There we go, another T-35 and a conscript here for Stormjaeger. Finally starting to spend his resources, except for the munitions. Need to get that max out there soon, I think. Most of those other forces being hauled back to the base here. Constant reinforcing. Northern point being seized here. We got 257 to 295. Got S-mines here by the southern victory point. Thumbs up there. We got the machine gun being actually pushed ahead in the south as well. The bit on its own could like get rushed here by Stormjaeger and his tank, for example. Could cost eats his MU-42. But he's almost got the fuel for the Tiger Race. He's got the heavy pants. At this rate, all he's going to really need is the manpower for the Tiger Race and the population, which actually narrowly has. Very narrowly, but he does possess it. Being flanked, there we go, great hit. Grenade fails to not make much of an impact there. Veteran 2 on this veteran T-35 crew. Tank crew here eats his beleaguered grenadiers. Mortar fire there, continues to rain down from above. And he's routed. Double packs fire there at the T-35, landing some fairly good hits there. Slowly's currently north here, but also looks like he's lining up for another push on the center versus his German opponent, but it is already encountering stiff resistance here, and the casualties are quick to make their appearance here against Stormjaeger's men. Plus he needs to fix up one T-35, so I think the engineers are already being peeled off to deal with that, leaving him, again, crucially, with not a lot of infantry to really like do most of the heavy lifting. Meanwhile, Eats is still about a minute away there from the Tiger Race. Give or take 10 seconds or so. Maximus and Pioneers here, Phil getting ready here as the Panda 4 T-35 coming in as well. Strain to both packs though, it's going to end up pretty poorly there for the T-35. They go down to less than half health. And loses it. That was definitely not well done by Stormjaeger. Bit reckless, and again I think constantly like starting to prove just the lack of infantry there for Stormjaeger to make it happen to like make any meves. That's again, it just also means sort of like sending in the tanks blind a lot of the time. It's a great kill there for Eats and the Red Army. His Tiger Race is getting close there. Very close. We're talking, well, roughly half a minute now away from that Tiger Race here versus Stormjaeger, who's still showing infantry, needs more tanks, and he needs some real progressive versus Eats. Like, part again, it's just Stormjaeger's attack patterns are, to an extent, I would say, predictable here, which makes it easier for his opponent to deal with them. Keep on moving forward, catching the grenadiers out in the open. Motors off, and there you go. 27-minute mark. We got the Tiger Rays out here for Eats and the German army. Lots of fire there on the T-35. So from nearby, 103rd Schwerer, or SS Schwerer Panzerabteilung there. Handful going for the T-35 misses though. Stormjaeger I think is going to need an issue to fight to deal with that Tiger Race unless Eats misplays it aggressively. So moving ahead here with this massive steel hulk of German engineering and skill. He's about to get hammered by the Tiger Race though. Encounter its 18mm gun. There you go. Dimitri blown to bits. Films engaging the Tiger Race, quickly getting a few punches through the frontal armor there. Shot bounces. Back hit, reinforcing healing. Picks up the T-35. And advancing the center of the Stormjaeger around to the grenades, mortar firing in as well here. 10 kills ace level. 7 kills, almost ready to down these heavy mortar there. Grenadiers charging 40, firmly defend the point in the face of Stormjaeger's socialist advances. Could barrage, and he's still flying like so many munitions. I think a double field barrage could actually give a good chance of wiping out some of these grenadiers. Stormjaeger seems hesitant to do so under the current circumstances. Stormjaeger with another T-35. And he's almost wiped by the heavy mortar. Imagine that before, coordinated with the heavy field gun barrage. That could be quite painful. Tiger Race moving in. And of course, it's likely he didn't do it because they're concerned about the Tiger Race thing. But I still feel like you should have tried it. In the south, the armored car flank about Team Mortar with the mortar in the center. Tiger Race quickly backing off here. Center, fine security for Stormjaeger, but at a fairly high cost. Armored car could possibly finally go down. Packs both miss the T-35. That's very lucky there for Stormjaeger. North side, we got some grenadiers sneaking in there. And crucially again, no real mines there from Stormjaeger. No mines. Also worth noting, each could also be laying down mines. They both got almost 500 munitions. Are they embezzling or something here? Just enforcing healing, ground sent with the conscript. Fixing up the T-35, ace level. Machine gun ball in the south has just been there forever. That's great in some ways. I mean, he's lucky he just didn't lose it to the CoH2, which has been huge for Stormjaeger, honestly. Again, this regard, it helps that Stormjaeger's just been practically laser focused on the center there to an extent like he just neglects the rest of the map than other parts attack versus eats. Plentiful striking head here, Tigers more or less fixed up here for the German army. Northern victory point seized there. Gunners and center there being hammered. Field guns moving up as well there. 500 munition power there for the German player, which is like he should also use that munitions. Lay down S-mines, lay down telemines. Just don't float 500 munitions, ladies and gentlemen. Getting hammered here by this German mortar. I thought it was been a fairly good mortar there. 19 kills. That's pretty good. Tigers moving in there right in front of the field guns here. Possibly exposing the side armor to them is definitely less than great there for the Tigers. Great there for the Soda anti-tank gunners, for sure. Back hits reinforcing healing. T-35 there need repairs. Good hit there on the T-35, though of course doesn't really do a lot of damage. And the actual what mortars could do a surprising amount of damage like Tiger tanks or any other tank. Really, for example, there's a case in Arnhem where like a King Tiger was actually knocked out because a mortar round hit like directly onto the radiator, causing like critical engine damage. So fun fact, they almost got the T-35, they quite a blow to Stormjaeger, but he does narrowly avoid it, but he's still getting more and more passive. And again, the problem is just focusing still on like just these very narrow points where like his opponent has most of his gun focused. Like he's not trying to outmaneuver Stormjaeger, he's not trying, eats or try to catch him off guard there, which makes it much easier for the German player to defend against all of that. More pioneers for the German player, thumbs up, Tiger is going in there. Shoots, misses.
The squad of pioneers has arrived.
Northern points being seized. Tiger is running forwards. There's the conscripts. T-35 there, ace level by 19 kills. Very good there, honestly, very good. But he's just, you know, I feel like not leveraging it particularly well. There, got gunners and trouble up north here. Stormjaeger strength 40 for the glory of the Red Army. Coming and starting tang into the retreating grenadiers, looking to snuff them out like candles in a storm, but falls a bit short there of the full Monty. Tiger is being towards the center here. Eats lining up for another Germanic assault here on Stormjaeger and his positions. Then he's been engaged with the T-35 from there. Tiger is pushing forwards. Straight to the field guns here. There we go. Shots penetrating there. Guns being bombarded by the T-35 now. The German player has most of the map here. Stormjaeger's down to 69 victory points. He needs to do something drastic here versus his opponent. Like, he needs to hit hard. He needs to hit decisively. But so far, again, there seems to be a great deal of hesitation here for Stormjaeger. A great deal of uncertainty against his opponent. Which only benefits, of course, the German player, who definitely, I would say, is not really showing any of that hesitation. Like, he's just attacking where he can, he's maneuvering where he can. And, like, you know, where Stormjaeger attacks, he lets him attack in a sense where he can just deal with them quite well. So, I feel like there needs to be, like, a significant change in the tactical approach of Stormjaeger, because currently he's just being ground down here by Eats and the German army. At least by now. Well, initially he's definitely had more success. That was also because I think he was much better at playing through the rest of the map, but by now he's just had his, you know, vision in a sense been narrowed so much that he really only sees the center and the northern force too. But again, he's like just ignoring the entire southern half of the map here. North here, Molotovs, grenades going off here. 50 versus 290. Almost got the mortar there with the same mortar. Using the time bombs there. Thumbs up. Katyusha for Stormjaeger. Further pressure there on its men. Not a bad idea. Grab the northern point here. But Stormjaeger's on the advance. There you go. Field gun bombarding here. Almost taking out some of the Grenadiers here. Could actually take on the retreat, possibly. Got a wipe there, finally. T-5 down forward to the ace one. They're taking heavy damage to the packs. Need to clear them out fast, but he doesn't quite have the tool to do that right now, I think. Heavy mortar could bombard, perhaps. But yeah, he might lose the T-35 as well, honestly. No, narrowly gets away there. Need to fix up both T-35s. Up north there, Panther pushing through there. Katyusha right around the corner here for Stormjaeger. He's down to 38 versus opponent's turn 90, but still he did some damage. He actually landed a wipe there, so maybe there's some hope for Stormjaeger. Maybe. Tiger Ace being with 5 kills, close to 2. Katyusha rocket launcher ready. He's basically they need to use the self-repair ability to speed them up. He's got plenty of munitions, so he can afford it. He can easily afford it. And again, Stormjaeger straight for the center there. Nothing happening in the south there. North also fairly quiet here. That's what Eats is planning. Who knows? Maybe a Panzer there for now. Just more medium armor, maybe. We'll have to see. 21 kills max. And there you go. Tiger Ace takes a penetrate from the field. Now on the field to penetrate. No, probably both actually ace level. That's actually a bit lucky there for the Tiger Ace. I don't want the 2-shot penetrated. Again, bit of good luck there for the Tiger Ace. Up north there, Panther just guarding as the Grenadiers northern victory point. Got 26 versus 290. Katyusha so far remaining reserved. T-35 saying northwards. A strong northern thrust here against each northern position, which are definitely not ready, I think, for 2 T-35s to strike into not the ace one. Going for the victory point first. There we go. Could crush the Grenadiers here, perhaps. No, yeah, bit. 2 men crash. Panther 4 taking some light damage. Panther fast off here. Damaged one of the T-35 could just use self-repair, I guess. Is that going to use to grab the point here? Field gun moving in here. Panther 4 down forwards again here. Indeed, he's done. Finally, Stormjaeger dispatching troops southwards, but there we go. MD-42 in the way. Could try and bombard it. And there we go. Got the Panther 4. Good killing for these T-35. Excellent here for Stormjaeger. Finally starting to land some hits here. The problem is he's just at 20 points, but he's finally starting to do something here. Got the Katyusha south. He's going to, I think, go for a shotgun blast approach. And MD-42 going for the zone victory point with the minesweepers in the center. Tiger Ace dives through here. And there you go. Katyusha barrage there. Too late. The machine gun is already repositioning. Wasting it. Heavy mortar beam on trouble with the Tiger Ace. Need to get the armor in there swiftly. We pull back the other one all the way back there. Got the northern victory point. We got 20 versus 285. But can Stormjaeger keep up the momentum? Can he keep it up? And it looks like the answer to that is niet. Okay, troops on the move again. Centerbeam sees that Grenadiers busy healing themselves up. Tiger Ace strikes it straight through. And at the engineers here. Need to get the T-35 back in action as swiftly as possible, alongside the field guns and everything else Stormjaeger can master. Grenadiers in trouble here for Eats. There go, grenade off. Falls a bit short of the mark there. The South Engineers being pushed back with excessive force here by Eats Tiger Ace. And the center company force, they could actually grab that mortar, I suppose, and turn against the German players. Roll sandbags up there. Grenadiers on northern victory point. We've got 20 versus 273. Targets from 12%, but Stormjaeger is actually like, again, once he finds starts like open up more of the front line, start having a lot more success here versus Eats, so you know. So any highlights that his previous approach definitely had some flaws. And saying they failed to do much damage there. On his game northern point, need to get the T-35 up to deal with that. Tiger coming up the center there. Field guns and the T-35 ace here. Might want to mark it. He's not using marked target, by the way. That's actually a bit of a mistake. That could allow him to take out the targets much faster too. And this is a really good ability for taking out the big stuff, honestly. T-35 there abandoned. He might get the T-35 here, or Tiger Ace, but he could have done it much faster and much sooner. So there you go. Got the Tiger Ace. A good kill here for the Red Army, but the problem is the rest of his forces are not looking great. Then again, he could even like have the T-35 turned against him. Northern point sees it, but the German army got 18 to 17 points left. Machine gun in the center here. Stormjaeger's forces are a bit in disarray. The infantry is insufficient. Grenadiers being hammered here, and everything else just pulled away there. Like, even the field guns, but they could just been used to bombard infantry to defend the center victory point. I feel like here's Stormjaeger definitely made one last mistake there. Goes straight for the S-man fields into Panzerfaust. 31 kills. That T-35's done great work here for Stormjaeger, honestly. 8 points. 6. Tifa if I'm knocked out there. Could actually drive to the southern make point just to grab it, honestly, and use Super at the same time. Got the pointy. 4 points left, though. He is moved to the point now, but I think it's too late here for Stormjaeger. It is too late, and there we go. GG, game over. So close, actually. Like, he actually managed to, like, break Eats here. Like, had he just not been losing so many victory points and just, that's a short side strategy, just focus on the center, I think could actually done this. So, I mean, really just a good highlight that you need to be flexible and, maneuverable on maps like this and not just get overly focused on the center point. Had he just not, got tunnel vision, I think he'd had a good chance of winning this match. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Links. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Till tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.